make this hat, I used Big Twist Value. It has 380 yards. I can make 2 hats with one of these skeins. And the color is teal. And I will show you the hook we're using. It's a 5.5 millimeter hook. And I included the sizing for a small, medium, and large hat. Head circumference for a small is 21 to 22 inches. A medium is 23 to 24 inches, and the large is 25 inches. It should fit a male head. This one fits me. I measured my head. It's 24 inches in circumference, and so let's just get started. You're going to also need a sewing needle and a pair of scissors. Okay, to get started, we're going to create a slip knot. And we're going to chain 4. And slip stitch into the first chain of the hook, or from the hook. To create a ring. We're going to work into this ring. We're going to chain 1. And we're going to double crochet 8 into this center of this ring, making sure to crochet over the tail as we go. Okay, that's 8. Then we're going to pull the tail a little to kind of close the center. Later on we'll use the tail to sew that closed more securely, but for right now we're just pulling it closed. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet, or the beginning stitch of the round, like so. For round 2, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work an increase. So first we're going to double crochet Then we're going to work a front post on that same stitch that we just worked into. So right here, inserting in between the stitch and in between the other stitch, the next stitch, and pushing this forward, we're going to double crochet, and that will push the stitches forward. And this is how we're going to do the increases in each stitch around. So let me show you that again. You're going to double crochet into the stitch normally, and then you're going to make a front post. Double crochet. So that's what you're going to repeat around. You're going to work a regular double crochet, and then a front post on the same double crochet. And so repeat this around and you will have 16 stitches at the end of round 2. And we are going to end with a slip stitch into the first stitch, the beginning stitch. Around 3 we are chaining 1. We're going to work a decrease over the first 2 stitches. So we're going to work a decrease over 2 stitches, double crochet decrease. Like that. I'll show you how to do it if you don't know next time I do it. But that's my first decrease. And then into the previous stitch that we just did the decrease, this one right here, we're going to work a double crochet. And then on the post, we're going to always do a front post on the front post. We're going to work a front post double crochet. So let me show you that again. We're going to scooch this stitch over, and we have 2 stitches right here to work in. So this is what we're repeating around. So we have these 2 stitches. We're going to decrease, so a double crochet decrease. We yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, drop a loop, draw through 2. We leave it unfinished, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and draw through all 3. Then we need to go into the stitch that we just worked in. So we're going to double crochet into that same stitch, the previous stitch that we worked in, which is that one. And then we're going to do a front post double crochet onto the same stitch. And that will be what you repeat around. When you're done with this round, you should have 24 stitches total. So just repeat that and I will show you what it looks like when we get back around. Okay, so this is the end of the round, and all that's left to do is slip stitch into the beginning stitch. So round 4, we're going to start by chaining 1, and each round is going to begin the same. We're going to do a decrease, working in the next 2 stitches. We're going to do a decrease over these 2 stitches. And then into the next stitch, we're going to just double crochet and increase. So we did a decrease over 2, and then we worked a double crochet increase in the next stitch, and then we're going to do a front post. So technically we have 3 stitches in 1 stitch, and the 2 together counts as 1 stitch. So this is what round 4 repeat will look like. Let me do it again. We're going to decrease over 2 stitches, so just work a double crochet decrease, then in the next stitch we're going to work an increase, which is 2 double crochet into the same stitch. Then we're going to work a front post onto the same stitch we're working in. And that will be our repeat. So at the end of the round you should have 32. Just repeat this around. Okay, so this is the end of the round. We're going to slip stitch to join. So for round 5 we're going to begin like we do. We're going to chain 1, work a decrease, and we're going to double crochet into the next stitch, and then into the stitch where we have the post stitch we're going to work an increase, two double crochet into the same stitch, and then we're going to work a front post over the post. And then this is what we're repeating around. We'll do another decrease, double crochet 1, increase in the next, and front post double crochet on the same stitch. And we'll repeat that around. So this is the end of the round, and we're going to slip stitch. You should have 40 stitches in this round. Okay, so for round 6 we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work our decrease, and then we're going to double crochet 1 in the next 2 stitches, and then in the same stitches where the post is we're going to increase. And then we're going to work a front post double crochet onto the same stitch. Like that, and that's what we're repeating around. We did our decrease, we double crocheted 1 in the next 2 stitches, did an increase in the next, and then did a front post onto the same stitch. So we'll repeat that around, and yeah. Okay, I'm at the last stitch. I told you guys we would have 48 stitches, and we're going to slip stitch into the beginning of the round to join, and it'll look like this. So for round 7 we're going to chain 1, decrease, we're going to double crochet 1 in the next 3 stitches. Then we're going to increase in the same stitch as the post. And then on the same post stitch, or on the same stitch, we're going to work a front post double crochet. And that will be what you repeat around. Decrease, decrease right here, double crochet 1, 2, 3, increase, and then a front post double crochet. So that's what you'll repeat around. I'm doing my last front post double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch into the beginning stitch, which is that double crochet 2 together, or the decrease, slip stitch. And that is round 7. We should have 56 stitches at this point. So if you want to count, I like to make sure that I have the right amount of stitches. And the fun thing about this crown is you can count your stitches. So I have 2 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I know I'm on round 7 when I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches. So we're going to move on to round 8. So we're gonna start by chaining 1, working our decrease, double crocheting 1 in the next 4 stitches, and then in the next stitch we'll do our increase. And then we'll do the front post double crochet onto the same stitch. And this will be what you repeat around. Decrease, double crochet 1, 2, 3, and 4, increase in the next, and front post double crochet on the same stitch. And with a slip stitch in the beginning stitch. Now we have round 9. Going to chain 1, decrease in the first stitch, we're going to double crochet 1 into the next 5 stitches, and then we're going to increase in the next stitch, and then work a front post double crochet on the same stitch. And that's what we're repeating around. So we're going to end the round with a slip stitch, if you were making a small hat for a small adult, head size 21 to 22 inches of head circumference, you would stop working on this round and then continue to the body part of the hat. but I'm making a medium adult size hat, and that is a 23 to 24 inches. So I'll put the sizing on the screen somewhere. But for round 9, this would be the last round, and you would skip ahead into the tutorial. There would be a little chaptered out mark on the screen in the timestamps or in the description, and you could just skip ahead to the body of the hat. Now we're going to move on to round 10. So we will be chaining 1, working a double crochet decrease, then you're going to double crochet 1 in the next 6 stitches, like that. That's 6, and then we're going to increase in the next stitch and work a front post double crochet on the same stitch. Like so, and this is what you're repeating around, and you'll have 80 stitches at the end of this round. This is round 10, and I'm slip stitching to join, and we have 80 stitches. At this point, if you were doing a medium size hat, which is like the regular, most people, the general head size of hats, this is where you would stop. This will fit a head size with the head circumference of 23 to 24 inches. This is my head circumference, so this is where I would stop for myself. And if you were going to make this for an adult male, like with a larger head size, you would continue and repeat the same process that we've been doing, where we decrease, double crochet until you get to the stitch with the post, and then increase in the post and create a double crochet front post. That's what you would repeat for the next round. Then you would have just 1 extra round, and you would have 88 stitches if you did that. But I wanted to note, and I do note this in the pattern, that this looks very oversized. But when we work the stitch pattern for the beanie itself on the body, the stitches are going to, basically you're going to lose 1 inch of the hat's crown because of the shell stitch that we're going to work, because there's going to be skipping of stitches. So I just wanted to remind you guys of that this is a huge base, or a huge crown, but it's going to shrink by 2 inches, or 1 inch by 2 rounds. 1 inch equals 2 rounds. So I just wanted to tell you guys that. So at this point, I'm moving on to the body of the hat, and that will be round 11 for me. It would be round 10 if you were doing a smaller size, and it would be round 12 if you were doing the larger size. So what we're doing next is we're going to chain 1, and we're going to half double crochet. So we're half double crocheting until we reach the front post double crochet stitch. And this is what we're repeating around. So we're going to half double crochet into each stitch until we reach the front post double crochet stitch. So we reach the front post. Instead of working in the stitch into these front loop or these two loops, we're actually going to do a front post half double on the post. And then we're gonna just scooch this over because it hides this next stitch, and you're just gonna keep we're gonna keep half double crocheting until you reach the other posts, and then you're gonna do a front post half double on the post of this front post double, and that's what you're repeating around. So I'll just show you what I mean, I feel like it's pretty, I explained it. You're just half double crochet. I don't like over explaining myself because then it, you know, if you got it, you got it, but I'm just gonna show you. So I worked to get to this stitch, and we're going to yarn over, insert it on the post, yarn over, draw up a loop, and then draw through 3. So just repeat that around, and you'll have, if you're doing the small size, you'll have 72 stitches. If you're doing the medium size, you'll have 80, and if you're doing the larger size, you'll have 88 stitches. This is the last stitch of the round, and we're going to slip stitch into the beginning, and that's round 11. I'm just going to call it round 11, and I'll have the rounds listed on the top if you are doing it in another size. So for round 12, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to back loop single crochet in the 3rd loop of the stitch. So I did this one pretty tight, don't be me, but I'll show you on the second one. So we have these top loops here. Oh, can you see that? So we have the 2 loops right here, and then we have the 3rd loop. So if you were to go in through the back of the stitch and then just push it, you'd have an extra loop hiding there, and that's the one you're going to single crochet into. So we're just going to work into that back 3rd loop around each stitch, even on the post stitch. It'll be a little tighter than the other stitches because it's a front post stitch, so it might be a little more difficult to work in, but I'll show you what I mean when I get there, because I'm just picking these up easy. Well, I did get there and it didn't even phase me. So yeah, you're just gonna single crochet in the 3rd back loop around, and then slip stitch in the beginning. Okay, slip stitch into the beginning stitch to join, and make sure you count your stitches. You should have the stitches are listed on the screen. Round 13, we are going to begin the shell stitch pattern that we're going to work. So we're going to start by chaining 1 and single crocheting into the first stitch right here. We're going to skip 3, and then in the next stitch we're going to work 9 double crochet, which is a 9 double crochet shell. So it's that 9 double crochet shell, and that's the repeat. Basically, we single crochet, skip 3, 9 double crochet shell, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to skip 3, 1 2 3, and then a single crochet into the next stitch, skip 3, do another shell, so skip 3, work a shell, 9 double crochet into the same stitch, nine, and we're skipping 3 single crochets, skipping 3, 9 double crochet, and that's why we're repeating around. And like I said earlier, because we're skipping these 3 and we're kind of pulling this a little, it's gonna cause this hat crown to fold up quicker, and it's gonna be a little more snug on your head, but in a correct kind of way. So I'm going to repeat that around. So the next thing I'll do is, we're alternating single crocheting and doing the shell, and then we're skipping 3 in between. And then when we have 1 2 3 left, I will meet back up with you. You should have a shell in this stitch here, and then 3 remaining. This is the last shell, 9 double crochet shell. Make sure you count your stitches when you do it. Make sure you have 9, because in the next round we're going to decrease over these 9 stitches, so we need 9 stitches. Yeah, so this is the last shell, and I have my 1 2 3 stitches remaining. So I'm just gonna slip stitch into the first stitch to join the round. So for round 14, we're going to loosely slip stitch into the next 5 double crochet stitches. So we're gonna do 1 2 3 4 and 5. That leaves us at the top of the shell stitch. We're gonna chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch that we chained up from. Now we're going to chain 3. We're going to go into the stitches, the next 9 double crochet stitches. We're going to double crochet 9 together. So we're gonna yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, drop a loop, draw through 2. That's 1. We're going to do that again, draw through 2, that's 2 times, yarn over, insert, drop a loop, draw through 2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. When we do the 5th one, we're already in the single crochet, so we have 4 left. We have 6 right there, 7, 8, and then our last one with 9. And if you count these loops on the hook, you should have 10 loops on your hook. So you're going to yarn over and draw through all 10 of these loops. and I like to use my hand to pull the stitches while I do it. And that's what this looks like. So we're gonna chain 4. Now the first part of this chain 4 is the eye or the eyelet or whatever of the base of the 9 together. So it's like at the top. That's important because later we're gonna work into that and do a shell. But for right now, I'm just saying we chained 4. This one here is to lock those loops in, and these other 3 kind of mimic the chain 3 we did in the beginning. So we did the chain 4. Now we're going to go into the next stitch. So this is the stitch we already decreased into. You can see that the stitch is in that stitch. So we're going to go to the next stitch and we're going to single crochet. And so like this is a basic repeat around, chain 3, decrease over 9 stitches. It's kind of similar to Tunisian crochet where you have all these stitches on one hook. So I think having a longer neck on your hook works really well. So we're gonna go down. When we get to the single crochet, we know we already have 5, and so it makes it easy to remember that, and then you just count 4 going back up. Because, you know, 5 plus 4 is 9. You have 10 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and draw through all 10 of these loops. Oops, see, I almost messed myself up. You're going to chain 1 to lock it in place, and then chain another 3. So you have a complete amount, so that this full amount is 4. I just had a brain fart. So what do we do next? We're going to single crochet into the next stitch, and we're just going to keep repeating that around. And when we get over here, I'll meet back up with y'all, because this is where we slip stitched, and I want to show you guys how to work into these stitches. So I'll meet back up with you when we're at this point, and you should have a single crochet at this point. So I will meet back up with you guys. So this is the point where we have to work into the slip stitches, and we're going to start here by chaining 3, working into the next 4 double crochet. So we're going to do that like this. So we've worked on the 4, and then I'm going to show you guys why I did that, because if you look at this, you can easily mistake this as a single crochet, but this is the chain 1 from the previous round, and this is the single crochet stitch right here. So we're going to skip this little space here because this is not a stitch, and we're going to work into this stitch right there. So yarn over, insert, draw up a loop, draw through 2. So that's our 5th stitch. Then we're going to do some maneuvering. So we got to open these stitches up to see this the loops that we're working in. So this is 1 of the double crochets. This is 2, 3, and then the 4th one right there, because this is the 5th one and we already did our single crochet in that one. So we have 10, loops on our hook, just make sure, and we're going to draw through all 10 and chain 4. Then we're going to slip stitch into the single crochet to join it. Okay, we're going to move on to round 15, and in round 15 we are going to start with a chain of 1. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the single crochet stitch. We're going to skip this chain 3, and we're going to double crochet 9 into the center chain space, because that's the top of the chain, and then this is the space under the chain. We're going to work 9 double crochet into that space. That's 9. And then we're going to skip these 3 and single crochet into this next single crochet. And that's basically what we're doing around. We're going to kind of move these stitches to make it a fuller, but yeah, so we're skipping this 3, and then we're going to work into this chain 1 space, 9 double crochet, and that's really basically all you're doing in this round is, you know, working into the chain 1 space, 9 double crochet, skipping 3, single crocheting into the single crochet, and that's basically what we're doing. So repeat this around. I feel like, yeah, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, so just repeat this around. Single crochet into the single crochet, skip 3, work a shell of 9 into the chain 1 space, skip 3, single crochet, and I'll meet back up with you when you are here, and we'll slip stitch here. So this is the last shell of 9 of round 15, and I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the single crochet. Now we're going to do one more round of the inverted shell, which is like the 9 double crochet together. So what we're going to do is slip stitch into the next 5 stitches. Basically the same thing we did in round 14, but I'm just going to do it on camera. So that's my 5 slip stitches. So we're gonna chain 1 to begin, then we're going to single crochet into the top of that same stitch, chain 3, and then we're going to double crochet 9 together across these 9 double crochet stitches, or 9 stitches, because this is a single crochet. So we're just going to work as if we're doing a decrease, but over 9 stitches. And we're gonna have 10 loops on the hook. We're gonna yarn over and draw through all 10 loops. Then we're going to lock it in place with a chain of 4. The first chain locks it, the next 3 are a part of the repeat. So that's what we're repeating. We'll do a single crochet on the top, so the next stitch will be a single crochet. We'll chain 3, so that's what we're doing over here, chain 3, and then we're going to do this 9 double crochet together, and then we're drawing through all 10 loops. So we're going to draw through all 10 loops and chain 4. And that's basically the repeat for this round. So just repeat that again. We're gonna, just repeat this around, and then I will meet back up with you when you are at this top of this stitch right here, which should be a single crochet. I made it to the last shell. This is the beginning single crochet right here, and we have to work across these 9 double crochet, but like in round 14, we don't want to accidentally work into the chain 1. We want to work into the single crochet. So we're going to chain 3, and we're going to do 9 and then we're going to skip this chain 1 right here, and then insert into the single crochet, and then we're gonna work 4 back up, it helps to kind of pull this up so you could reveal the little hidden, so this was 1, 2, 3. I have one more double crochet, and then this is the single crochet. So we should have 10 loops on our hook, and we're going to draw through all 10. chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're slip stitching into the beginning stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to half double crochet around the body, but we're going to close these chain 3 spaces and kind of like smush them down onto the body of the hat. So that means we're going to work in the brown that's under, or yeah, we're going to work in the sides of the stitches in the previous round. So we're going to begin with a chain of 1. We're going to half double crochet into this single crochet. Crochet 3 half doubles in between this single crochet and this cluster. So that means we're gonna have to like lift the stitches to find the placement. So if I lift this stitch here, you could see 3 spaces. One right here, one right here, and the other one is right here. That's where we're working, here, here, and here. So we're gonna work our first one. It's basically on the top of this stitch for the double crochet. Oh, I did a double crochet because I said double crochet. We're gonna half double crochet. And then we're going to half double crochet into the next side of the stitch. It's the top of the double crochet, 9 together, and then on the side of the stitch we're gonna half double. So that's our 3, and then we're going to half double into this chain 1 space. Now we're gonna do a similar thing on this side, but we're going to put 3 in between the chain 1 space and the single crochet, but we're gonna go into the stitch differently. So on this side we're gonna have this open space here, right here, and right here. So there's 3 spots we could place our hook or our stitches. So we're going to go into this space right here, this half double, and then the last one's on top of this double crochet right there. We're in a half double, and then half double into this single crochet. So that's what we're repeating around. If you need to rewatch it, I did put a timestamp so you can just rewatch that part. Just repeat that around. Just half doubles, 3 in between each single crochet and chain 1 spot. 3, 1, 2, 3. That way you have the right amount of stitch count. You're going to have the same amount of stitches as when you were finishing this bottom portion of the brim. So for the smaller hat you should have 72, for the medium size hat you should have 80, and for the larger hat you should have 88 stitches. So it depends upon which size you made, but just repeat it around and make sure you end in a multiple of 8, and then I'll meet back up with you guys when I slip stitch into the first stitch right here. I'm on the last stitch of the round, and I wanted to show you guys the last stitch because if you look, there is a slip stitch that we did in the previous round that will be right here. So it's like easier if you kind of move it. You're just gonna have to push it in there because it's kind of a tight stitch, and just work the half double like that. and then we will slip stitch into the beginning stitch to join. So we chain 1, did that, and we're going to do what we did in round 12, I believe it was round 12, where we single crocheted into the 3rd back loop. That's what we're doing here. Repeat this around and I'll meet back up with you guys when you get onto the other side. Well, this is the last stitch of the round, and then you're gonna just slip stitch into the beginning stitch to join it, and we're going to begin the first round of the brim. So we're chaining 1, I took that out, and we're going to front post double crochet over the post of the single crochet. And then we're going to back post double crochet over the next stitch, and we're just going to alternate between the 2 of those. So yarn over, insert into the stitch, push the stitch forward, go through the other stitch, and then double crochet normally, yarn over, go back into the stitch you just pulled out of, and then push this backward by going into the next stitch and pushing the post. And then you're just repeating that around. You're gonna have, you know, front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, and then you're going to have a back post in the last stitch, and we're gonna slip stitch into the beginning. And that's what we're going to repeat for this round and the next round. So we're going to do 2 rounds of that for rounds 18 and 19. It's going to be the same, front post, back post, and that will be the end of the pattern, and I will repeat this for 2 rounds, and I'll meet back up with you guys when you have your when I have my 2 rounds complete, because it's gonna go faster for me because I'm skipping ahead. Okay, so I finished doing 2 rounds of front post, back post ribbing or brim, and you can do this as long or as short as you would like, depending on how the fitment is, but I'm going to slip stitch into the beginning stitch to join, and I'm gonna fasten off this yarn and cut it and sew it in and hide it. This is what the hat looks like.